Hi, my name is Thomas Hook and I'm a write-in candidate for New Mexico's 3rd Congressional District. I am seeking this position because our current representative, Ben Ray Lujan, has failed all of us. My fellow Americans, do you remember back in November 2008, history was made. Barack Obama was elected president. Representative Lujan was swept into office along with Mr. Hope and Change. The Democrats championed the claim of being the party of inclusion, diversity, multiculturalism, and tolerance. Then why was one of the first things Representative Lujan did was to self-segregate and join the Congressional Hispanic Caucus? I thought our elected officials were supposed to represent all of us. But since he did join the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, let's see what he's done to help my fellow Christians/Hispanics. The Democrats won big in the 2008 election by promising immigration reform. I remember Obama campaigning. He would have immigration done by his first year in office. The Democrats won big majorities in the House of Representatives and the Senate and had the presidency. So why was immigration the first thing to be punted by the Democrats? Here's why. Taking control of 1/6 of the U.S. economy by enacting Obamacare was more important than the plight of dreamers or other immigrant rights supporters. The bottom line is they lied and continue to lie. You cannot keep your plan. You cannot keep your doctor. You didn't save any money. All lies, lies, lies. That's all the Democrats know how to do. But you got to give that white lady Nancy Pelosi a lot of credit. Remember her? We have to pass it so you can find out what's in it. Well, she got the entire Congressional Hispanic Caucus to do what she wanted. Not one member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus resisted. Not one member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus made a fuss to the media. Not one member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus threatened to change parties. They went along with the change of plan. And who went along with the change of plan? Representative Lujan and Senator Udall. And they will pay the price on election day for not taking care of immigration and our neighbors. And what else did the great Representative Lujan do? Let's talk about Operation Fast and Furious. The Obama administration allowed 2,500 assault weapons to cross the Mexican border to the drug cartels. U.S. agents Brian Terry and Jamie Zapata, along with 300 Mexican citizens, were killed with these weapons. The Obama administration refused to hand over any information regarding Operation Fast and Furious. The House of Representatives voted to hold the U.S. Attorney General, Eric Holder, in contempt of Congress for failing to turn over this information. So the day of the vote to hold him in contempt of Congress, Representative Lujan and the entire Congressional Hispanic Caucus walked out of this vote in protest. Leading the walkout was the Congressional Black Caucus, who called it racist to criticize Eric Holder or his leadership. This gave cover to the walkout by Lujan and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and that white lady, Nancy Pelosi, took care of the rest by claiming the walkout was over voter ID laws. This is when I branded Representative Lujan Benny the Backstabber. For somebody who is of Mexican ancestry, you did stab them in the back. I have no problem as a Catholic and a Christian telling you that. And also, my fellow Americans, remember when Barack Obama was supposed to bring us together? Remember, his campaign was about unity and promise and peace. He said, can we all come together with cooler heads to solve the nation's problems? His response, yes, we can. Barack Obama wasn't even in office a couple of months when we had to have a beer summit because our commander-in-chief said things that were untrue, and in order to smooth it over, well, we'll have a beer summit and sweep it under the carpet. Just like immigration, sweep it under the carpet. Fast and Furious, sweep it under the carpet. I thought we were supposed to become unified. Well, my fellow Americans, if you were paying attention, the Democrats and the obedient media in the United States intentionally divided Americans into a new racial category: white Hispanic. This was done to ensure race would be the story and not the facts. My fellow Americans, the media has covered up a lot of stuff for the Democrats. Immigration, Fast and Furious, just to name a few. And I do have something to say to Representative Lujan. On behalf of me and my white Hispanic kids, resign now and save yourself the beating you rightfully have coming to you. If I have learned anything from the last 6 years under Obama, it's all about race, and the Democrats like it that way. Well, now the race card is a tired, overused, and played out tactic. And now in 2014, it's not working anymore. The people of New Mexico's 3rd Congressional District, I want you to know that I will support a plan that provides an expedited path for dreamers to become United States citizens, ensuring they will have a voice in the direction of our country in the next presidential elections. I will also support a plan giving preferential treatment to our neighbors to the south. And especially today with the threat of ISIS, convert or die, I will protect my fellow Christians before anybody else. And we also need to immediately seal our borders and our seaports and prevent any terrorists from entering our country. Especially right now, with the U.S. recently being threatened by ISIS terrorists. My fellow Americans, this is common sense, national security 101 stuff. And I want you to know that I am a 20-year veteran of the United States Air Force. And I want you to know, here are a couple of headlines of how our veterans get treated when the Democrats are in charge. Every day, 22 veterans take their own lives. That's a suicide every 65 minutes. The National Coalition for Homeless Veterans estimate that on any given night, 200,000 veterans are homeless. And 400,000 veterans will experience homelessness during the course of a year. This is unacceptable. The VA hospital wait list scandal. The VA Inspector General admits an astonishing 293 veteran deaths related to the fraud of the wait list scandal. My fellow Americans, this is called rationing. This is called death panels. And it is very simple to see. Also, investigation into 40 veteran deaths found poor quality of care at Phoenix VA hospitals. And then 4 VA whistleblowers told House lawmakers in a hearing that they were harassed, were placed on leave, and encountered other forms of retaliation when they attempted to report wrongdoing in the agency. Another headline, as veterans waited for treatment, VA hospitals spent $420 million on solar panels? Really? My fellow Americans, these are just a few of the headlines illustrating how our veterans are being disrespected and abused. I commend the VA whistleblowers for standing up for what is right. And what is right is not treating a veteran like shit. As your representative in Congress, I guarantee you this: heads will roll. After all, these are public servants who better be serving our veterans with the honor and respect they have already earned and deserve. Care for veterans must always be a higher priority than solar panels. And as a veteran, I will do everything I can. There will be no more homeless veterans. No more. No more homeless Americans. Our veterans will be treated with the respect and honor they deserve. And our economy. Let's see. The reason the U.S. economy is not growing is because the Democrats have embraced and championed the greatest hoax ever: climate change. The scientists who proclaim there is man-made climate change have falsified their research. They ensured the formulas they use would reach the conclusions they wanted. My fellow American, the people championing climate change are the very same people who promised immigration reform, national unity if President Obama was elected, and economic prosperity to all Americans, especially the inner cities. The Democrats and their supporters are getting very rich off this climate change fraud, and the average American is suffering. Here's what they believe: climate change is the symptom. Capitalism is the disease. Socialism is the cure. Really? I don't think so. 20 years I spent in the military was not to fight for socialism. It was to fight for my fellow Americans and our freedoms. Climate change is not settled science. It is just a tool used to shut down capitalism in the United States. And their scam goes like this: write environmental regulations that are costly, unattainable, unjustified, and as expected, the business is shut down. The coal we are not allowed to use here in the United States is exported to the very countries the climate change liars invest in. That coal is used to help manufacture the very products they shut down here in the United States, guaranteeing their foreign-made products are the only products available for American consumers. The stock market is rising, and yet we are in a jobless recovery because the jobs are going over there, not here in America. My fellow Americans, it's time to end the scam called climate change and put Americans back to work and finally become energy independent. Lowering energy costs is the common sense way of spreading the wealth to all Americans. We need to elect representatives who will do what the people want and not what the white elites and Hollywood want. Lujan failed again on all of this. He voted for cap and trade. You think the price of gas is high now? It would have been even higher if cap and trade would have passed through the Senate. He failed all of us miserably. Him, Udall, Lujan Grisham, all of them got to go. And let's talk about what we need here in New Mexico: water. The whole Southwest, we're in a drought. The Democrats are not the solution to our water problems. They are the problem. The Democrats spent $840 billion on shovel-ready projects and accomplished absolutely nothing to bring water to the drought areas of the United States, especially New Mexico. Our federal government shut off the water to Californian farms because of an endangered fish. This is the same federal government that is trying to take over legal management of New Mexico State's water supply. And in California, here's their new daily water allocations is the next California drought strategy. Daily water allocations. My fellow Americans, they call that a strategy. The only way to fix this is, my fellow Americans, The Democrats and the environmental extremists they represent declared the only way to save this fish is to turn off the water. With the full backing of the federal government, the water was shut off, resulting in the elimination of 40,000 farming jobs. Most of were migrant workers from Mexico. And that's the Democrats. These people are very intolerant and refuse to negotiate. They know what's best because they are the self-proclaimed smartest people in the room. I totally disagree. The only successful way to bring water to the drought areas is to vote every Democrat out of office, especially the white ones. I will immediately support a shovel-ready project that will bring water to all the drought areas of the United States. We will do flood control projects that will move water to where it is needed. These projects will create thousands of jobs and will ensure water for future generations. These common sense projects will help ensure the great state of New Mexico grows into an economic powerhouse. Water and energy are the key ingredients to grow any economy. The Democrats should have done this, but failed to do so. It is not in their interest. They are the slumlords who turn off the water, put people out of work, create poverty, and play the race card. My fellow Americans, we deserve a lot better than this. And especially on immigration. We need to pass immigration. We need to decide who's staying, who's going, and in the middle, with our economy growing, hopefully more people will get to stay than have to leave. My fellow Americans, we have got to get on the same page. Immigration reform, energy independence, bringing water here. All the above, common sense, will put us on a course for economic prosperity for everyone. Energy independence is a big deal. The lower it costs for energy, the more we can do. My fellow Americans, as a write-in candidate, I do not have a political party backing me. I don't have a lot of money. What I do have is a message. And that message is we deserve better. As Americans, all Americans, not as a race or an ethnicity, but as an American. And I want to tell you how I feel, okay? That I am an American, an individual, guaranteed every right under the Constitution. I am not a race, ethnic group, sexual orientation, or religion to be persecuted. Stop treating me like one. Stop speaking for me or against me. This election day, my vote will speak for me and my values. My fellow New Mexicans, please vote every Democrat out. Susana Martinez deserves better. The Democrats have controlled the state of New Mexico for 60 years. It is time to change it up. Please vote every Democrat out this election. And please check out my website, HookForCongress.com. Thank you, and God bless America.